Jake, a bit of a mishap on Monday. Can you talk us through that?
Yeah. Look, I think that on reflection, I think it's a test designed to be pretty hard. So I ran a PB for both my first two times. So I think maybe I just went a little bit hard in the first couple of runs. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm not the first person to ever faint after giving it their all. And unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be the last either. So just a little bit of bad luck. I laid down first after that third effort, and then when I went to get back up, I don't think that was a very good idea, so I won't be doing that again for sure.
So it was a bit of a shock.
Yeah,
Things can be.
yeah, it was. Like, to be honest, the first shot came when they read out my time for the first lap that I did. I couldn't believe that I got that fast, so I think maybe after that, as I said, I just went a little bit too hard in the first couple of runs, and it backfired a little bit.
Well, the new fitness guy's making his mark.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's fantastic that we've been able to come back, and I know that a lot of boys are in really good shape, and hearing from them, they're in a really good spot. And it's actually probably from the guys that didn't play. I think there's a little bit of point to prove for those guys that didn't play in the grand final last year in the premiership. So it's great for our culture. It's great for positions on the ground. To be pushing really hard against each other, and I'm really looking forward to, our session today was another step in the right direction, so we're looking forward to having 3 weeks break and then coming back ready for the new year.
Just on that, have you guys made a concerted effort to, address now being the chased rather than the chaser?
We haven't yet. We're sort of, because we've had a little bit less of a break than most other teams, this 2 weeks is really, and then obviously the 3 weeks at Christmas time is such an important part of our physical well-being and how well physically we can come back. So the first couple of weeks we're not really focusing too much on education. I'm not sure if you noticed today there wasn't a hell of a lot of coaching from the coaches. It was more education from the players and what we were able to see, and that just gives guys another little mental break, but also really important to come back and train as a group and make sure that we're not far behind the teams that have been doing off-season for probably 12 to 15 weeks, where we've only been doing it for sort of 6 or 7.
I suppose nothing says there's no premiership hangover more than a star player exerting himself so much that he faints at the first day of training. In some ways it's a sign that you're back.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that we sort of made a commitment last year once we won. I think upon reflection as a group, we realised that as you guys said before, we're going to be the chase, but we want to really, last year we were sort of just hunting every other team, and we understood that we didn't have any right to be where we were. It was just that we were working so hard that the results were coming our way, and it's going to be no different this year. Teams are going to come back fitter, stronger. They're going to, as you said, hunt us, and we're just going to really embrace that challenge, and hopefully the results speak for itself.
Is there a carrot of playing in a grand final at the MCG? Has that been discussed at all?
Yeah, it has. I think that's probably, if you talk about motivation, you can see the fans, how much they loved last Sunday and how much the players really embraced last Sunday. And to see, for myself, my wife and my 2 kids there in front of 40,000 Demons fans, it was pretty exciting, and it does give a little bit of carrot to play in another grand final. But to be honest, that's next year. It's in September next year. It's 9 months away. There's a lot of water to go under the bridge before then, but we're really excited at that prospect, and that's what we'll be working towards.
And so has there been any emphasis, so what you just touched on there, versus staying in the present versus looking ahead to the grand final? How's that balance kind of been struck by the coaching staff?
Well, it probably hasn't been touched on yet. I think that as a playing group, we understand that there's a lot of things to go right and have to go right to be able to play in a premiership. But you could see just from last year, we had a pretty sort of down period between, I think it was around, sort of around 16 to 20, where we weren't playing our best footy, and we understood that teams were sort of coming at us because we're on top of the ladder, and therefore we were able to really emphasise our game plan and hone in on it, and therefore get the results. So it's no different now. We're going to get some education at the start of next year on what we can do to be a better side, because we understand that teams are going to get better, and it's really important to stay in the present. But also I think it's really important to look and have big goals, and because that's what we set ourselves up for last year. And I think that every time you you might have went away from the team plan, or you were thinking about something else. It was always good to come back to that goal and really focus in on that.
How's the backline gelling? Obviously Smith missed out in the granny.
Yep.
Tomlinson missed out. He seems like he's making good inroads here. Competition for spots, you think that's going to help moving forward?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that even last year, that's what we were able to do. We were able to have a really fit list, and therefore competition for spots every week was really vital. And for those guys, you talk about Tomlinson and Smith and Hunt, these are the guys that are coming back in really good nick and looking to push the players that played in the premiership to new limits and to new heights and to be better players. So it's going to help, and in the end, those guys are going to be the ones that push this culture forward and push the club forward.